views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready to experience the truth. Welcome to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Truth Talk Radio is the hit show that will illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. Unleash your intuitive nature while Deb helps you stop looking outside yourself for value and happiness, break through patterns, and move into your authentic truth at lightning speed. Truth Talk Radio will leave you feeling lighter, help you live with more presence, passion, and clarity, and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Now here's your host, Deb Acker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deb Acker, and you are listening to Truth Talk on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with me for the next hour as I help you experience the truth, nothing but the truth. Each week on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll have some of the most gifted, inspiring, and unique souls, speakers, and authors helping to move you into more light, love, and, of course, truth. And with that, I want to introduce today's guest, Kane Shea. He's not your ordinary guest, and his bio is not your ordinary bio. Out in the middle of the Indian Ocean, hundreds of miles away from the nearest body of land, and on his first vacation of his entire career, Kane Shea decided it was time to quit, that it was time to leave his skyrocketing career in capital markets, trading and investing between $50 and $200 billion per day, two-thirds of the entire world's daily GDP, and go back to his childhood passions of Qigong and energy work. What he did not realize was that an intense spiritual journey lay ahead of him that would take him from comfortable and sitting on top of vast savings to broke, massively in debt, and eating out of emergency earthquake supplies. And then back to spiritual, emotional, and material abundance again. As a firm believer that our experiences direct us towards our purpose in life, Kane realized that he needed to focus not just on energy and spirituality, but specifically on the energy of money and helping people attune with it. And that's what he does today. And what stood out to me about Kane when I met him were a couple of things. He has this energy of being a true, kind, and gentle old soul. And this old soul was one that I knew I had known in other lifetimes. And with that, I'd like to welcome Kane to the show. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Deb. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Me too. It's always so wonderful to be in your energy and your presence.
Thank you. So it goes right back to you. So can you tell the listeners, you had this whole journey from, kind of doing what a lot of people are doing, right? Where, working crazy hours and making good money, but you're, just working so much and just really, really burnt out. Can you tell us about this journey that you had?
Yeah. So I started out my career in capital markets, and it's a very lucrative career. And at one point, at the height of my career, I was trading $50 to $200 billion every single day, which is kind of crazy money. And most people can't really imagine how much money that is. But what I found was that I was basically defining my life in terms of money. And I think a lot of us do that. We're taught as we grew up to think of everything in terms of money and to define our success and our happiness in terms of money. So by adopting that definition, I very naturally, if I wanted to be successful, I very naturally surrounded myself with money. And what I found was that even though money was a necessity in life, it did not equate to happiness. And later on in my spiritual journey, I found out that was because in working for just money, you're really only serving one purpose of your work. And when in reality, there's 6 of them. So I went on this whole journey of kind of discovering these other 5 purposes in my life. And, perhaps we'll have some time, we'll share them with you today as well.
No, that would be awesome. I actually want to ask you, so just like a quick summary, like what are these 6 purposes of our work, outside of obviously working for money?
Right, absolutely. So obviously that's the one that we all know. We all work for necessity in order to meet our needs, pay our bills, to take care of ourselves and to take care of our families. But beyond that, work also gives us our identity. So most people, when you ask them who they are, they very naturally answer, oh, I'm a, and then fill in the blank. Whatever it is that they identify themselves with. And in fact, this was the first and biggest challenge I had when I quit my job, was there's this crisis of identity. You kind of lose who you are. And it's exciting at the same time because you get to redefine who you are. But for a little while, you're a little lost and floating around trying to recapture that sense of identity. The third one is maturity. And if you're a parent, you know this one pretty well. You put your kid to work. You give them chores. You take them to volunteer opportunities when they grow up. You expect them to get a job, maybe to help pay through college, and then go on to their careers. So we do all of these things because we know that putting our children to work develops their maturity. It develops their character. And the same is true with us, because most likely there's no other place in your life that is going to challenge you and bring up your kind of triggers other than a relationship. Work is the place where all of your triggers and all of your challenges come up. And it's through meeting these challenges that you develop your character and your maturity. Beyond that, it also gives you credibility. So it's through our work that we become credible and that we know what we're talking about. So that when we speak, I'm speaking to you today about money. And one of the things that very naturally comes up is, well, who's Kane to talk to you about money? And the answer you already heard, part of it was that, well, I used to trade $50 to $200 billion a day. 2/3 of the world's GDP used to pass through my hands every single day. So I have experience and directly with money. So when I speak about it, it lends me credibility. And then there's charity. So we provide for ourselves, but there's this very spiritual law of giving and of charity, and working and earning money allows us to give and to be appreciative and to be appreciated. And then the sixth one would be what I call legacy, or even in greater, it's like charity on steroids, right? So it's, what do you leave behind when you reach the end of your life? What lives beyond you that will continue to give to others in this world?
That's super, super interesting. The first one that you mentioned was this identity that we have with our work. And the question that came up to me, and I'm kind of curious just to hear what your thoughts are around it. The question that came up to ask you is, how do we stop identifying with our work, right? Do you think that that's even important? And, and if so, how, what are your thoughts on how we stop doing this?
Yeah, well, I think there's two answers to that. It's both yes and no. So there is definitely a part of you, a deeper piece of you than what you do, right? So rather than identifying yourself with your work, you want to be identified with who you are. That's what we call integrity. But at some point, we reach the essence of who you are. When you reach integrity, when you are actually doing what you were meant to do, when you're serving your life's purpose, both your spiritual purpose and your physical purpose, at that point, then it is really who you are. Because none of us came to this earth to sit around and do nothing. Each of us has a purpose, each of us has gifts, and we came here to do something. And that something really does define who we are. So if you're working within your life's purpose, there's absolutely nothing wrong with identifying with your work. But if you're not quite there yet, then it may be time to reach out for a new identity.
Very, very cool. I actually want to talk to you we're going to take a quick break here, but when we get back, I want to talk to you about how we find the work that we are meant to do, right? So you are listening to Truth Talk. I am your host, Deb Acker. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to explore more with Kane. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Are you ready for a radical shift in your way of being? Are you seeking a more deeply connected and fulfilling life? Awakened Living Radio is a show dedicated to helping you embrace a life filled with profound peace, connection, and happiness. TJ Woodward is passionate about helping you find your clarity, balance, and purpose. Join co-host TJ Woodward and Dr. Pat Basili on the first Monday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for Awakened Living Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
What are vibes? We often use this word, but did you know vibes can actually be useful and help solve our everyday challenges? Embark on an exciting learning journey with Caitlin Keat, 11-time Visionary Award winner, specialist in vibrational energy, and the creator of Vibes Up. Join Caitlin as she takes you through the world of vibrational therapy and energy healing with natural solutions for a modern world. Visit vibesup.com to learn more today.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming trends.
1230 WBLQ.
We're back on Truth Talk, and I'm your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Kane Shea, and we're exploring various ways to attune to money. But before we continue, Kane, I want to ensure everyone has your contact info. Can you give this to our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. I can be reached at kane@inwardgaze.org. So that's KANE at inwardgaze, INWARDGAZE.org.
Awesome. So before the break, we were talking about the 6 purposes of work, and we started to talk about really moving into this whole idea of really moving from not just from okay, we're working to live, but really moving into sort of our spiritual calling and our calling and how that really appears and shows up in our work. How do you believe that we find the work that we are meant to do in this lifetime?
I think there's a few different ways, right? Like the first step is always self-reflection. It's always getting to know yourself better. And that's something that a lot of us really do. Like we tend to get really distracted with our lives. But if you will just step back, then there's a few areas of your life that you can look at. So the first one that I always look at is, number one, are you are you successful at what you're doing, right? So if you are in your life's purpose, or if you're following your kind of life's path, you will be successful in some shape or form. Of course, that by itself doesn't determine it. So obviously, when I was trading 50 to 200 billion a day, I was pretty successful at that job. But that really wasn't my calling. So success isn't enough. So the second part of that is fulfillment. And that was really what was lacking in my life when I was doing that work, was the lack of fulfillment. So if you're on your life's path, if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, you're both fruitful and fulfilled. Right? And another thing to look at is, well, maybe you're still looking for that. Maybe you look at your life and you're saying, no, well, I'm not fruitful, or I'm not fulfilled, or I'm not both. Right? And so when you're there, we start looking at, what is it that I do differently than everybody else? Because we all came here for a purpose. We all came here for something to do. And that something that we're going to do is unlike anybody else. So no two of us, just like no two of us have the same fingerprint, no two of us have the exact same life purpose. We may have related life purposes, but we all have our own, and only we can fulfill that life purpose. So if you start looking at things that you do differently than everybody else, that's going to start cluing you in to what you're meant to be doing. So when I was a portfolio manager and a trader, there was a lot of things that I did very differently than other people. I was not your traditional like capital markets, Wall Street guy in a suit. So I remember the very first meeting I ever attended as a portfolio manager. We have this thing called economic forum, where every portfolio manager in the company gets together and puts out their views on the economy and the future of the financial markets for the next year. And the first thing they make you do as a new participant in economic forum is stand up and tell everybody what kind of car you drive. So it kind of shows you the values of that world.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So portfolio managers will stand up and they'll say, well, I drive a BMW 6 Series, I drive a Ferrari, I drive a Porsche 911, I drive whatever it is that they're driving. And they're, in general, very high-end luxury cars or very high-end sports cars. This is all over the place. Everyone is standing up saying, this sports car, that sports car. There's probably not a single car being named that is under $100,000. And then I stand up and I say, Toyota Tacoma. So that automatically set me apart. So I do things differently. So I'm managing other people's money, but I'm also managing my own money differently than those other portfolio managers. So that starts to clue you in to where you're different and how you can bring a different perspective to the world. So if I had said I drive a Toyota Tacoma and I trade $50 a day, that would have been a different story, right? So I have that success. I had that level of performance, but there's something about the way that I managed my own money that was different. That clued me into my ultimate life purpose, which was later on down the road, which is what I do today. So if you start examining your life and seeing how you do things differently, you'll start to get clued in.
Well, and what you're talking about too is just it's like our value systems, right? And so it's interesting because you're talking about it's like I'm with you, right? For me, it's like in terms of the things around me. Well, especially like cars, I I'm like, oh, a car is just meant to help you get from one place to the next. Like, it doesn't really, matter to me so much, like how pretty it is or anything like that. And so, but that is something that is really, really important, right? Just like us tuning into what are our values and what that looks like. And speaking of really tuning in, obviously the title of the show is Attuning to the Energy of Money. Can you talk to us? What is the energy of money, and how is the energy of money different from money itself?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the money, if we look at purely in terms of economics, money is just something that is a circulating medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. So what we mean by those is that it's a circulating medium of exchange, meaning that I can trade it for other things. I can give you money and you'll give me something of value back, right? And as a store of value, it means that I can make money today, I can create value today, and money allows me to spend that value some other time in the future. So just because I work today doesn't mean I have to use the money that I get today. I can save it for retirement. I can save it for other times during my life. And then it's a unit of account, meaning that the world's economy or the world, people around the world measure value using money. So that's what money is. Money physically is a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. But the energy of money is very different. And actually, the money of energy is very complicated because our psychologies about money is very complicated. So money can mean very different things to different people. For a lot of people, money is evil. For a lot of people, money is ephemeral. For a lot of people, money just isn't there, right? It represents an energy of lack, or it could represent an energy of appreciation, or just pure value, the energy of value itself. So an important thing to recognize is, if we want money, is that in this world, everything happens energetically before it happens physically, right? So I just want to make sure we're on the same page there, because that might be a little bit difficult to understand. So before you and I got on the phone together today and we started talking about money, we had to think about it. Someone had to have the idea of, hey, let's have a radio show and let's talk to Kane about money, right? And then we had to connect, and then we had to plan, and then we had to coordinate. All of this is energy. So all of this stuff happened energetically before it actually happened in physical reality, before we actually sat down and started talking. The same thing is true if I raise my hand, right? Before I can raise my hand, I have to think about raising my hand. Then my brain has to translate the energy of my thought into the energy of electrical signal that gets relayed through my nerves to my muscles and activates them, and then my hand raises. So everything happens as energy before it happens in the physical world. So when we're talking about the energy of money, we're talking about not only what you might be familiar with in terms of your energy and your aura, but also your thoughts and your beliefs and all of your patterns that go behind that cause you to do the different things that you do that result in the relationship that you have with money currently today.
Well, and so for the listeners, this is like a new, for the listeners where this is just like a new concept, the question comes up are, what are some good questions that they can start asking themselves to really tune into what, basically to tune into what their story is around money?
Mm. So the real simple answer to that is just start being aware of the language in your head every time you think about money, but especially when you wake up. So most people, they wake up with very strong feelings in the morning. Some people wake up very groggy, very tired. Some people get up very reluctantly. Some people bounce out of bed. And at some point, you can take a look at yourself and wake up. And the first thing you do when you wake up is ask yourself, how do I feel about my money? Do I feel rich? Do I feel poor? Do I feel lack? Do I feel abundance? How is it that I'm feeling this morning when I wake up?
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because it's like noticing whatever feeling comes up in your body when you talk about money too, right?
Exactly.
It's like that. It's like, is there heaviness around, some part of your body as you're talking about money, and just kind of starting to notice that, and starting to, if you do have that sort of constriction, instead of constricting, starting to practice breathing into that, and starting to practice really opening to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can even go through a great exercise of exactly that when we have a moment of actually getting everyone to feel where they are with money, and then actually moving beyond that particular limitation.
That would be great. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're actually going to do that exercise, and we're going to talk more with Kane about attuning to the energy of money. So just stay tuned. We will be right back.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken, a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Put a little woohoo in your life with Keys. Keys Clear Protein Waters have 22 grams of smile-making, attitude-adjusting protein in every bottle. Did I mention its tongue-tingling taste? Not just another guilty pleasure. With Keys, you'll enjoy every low-sugar sip and freedom from gluten, lactose, and GMOs. Who needs the fountain of youth when you can find Keys on Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com. Put a little woohoo in your attitude with Keys Protein Water.
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fontaine on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, identify your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Leslie Fontaine is a transformation catalyst and clairvoyant who uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times, and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Just as I thought it was going all right, I found out I'm wrong when I thought I was right. It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. I could say Dave.
We're back on Truth Talk, and for those just tuning in, I'm here talking with Kane Shea about attuning to the energy of money. And before the break, we were talking about really how to really step into that energy and start to really live from it. And Kane has a wonderful exercise he wants to take us through to really start to activate attuning to that energy of money. So Kane, can you walk us through that exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're really going to start feeling where some of our blocks with the energy of money is. So, or are, I should say. So, while we're doing this, if you can, close your eyes. If you're driving, if you're operating machinery or doing something that requires you to keep your eyes open, please keep your eyes open. and just, pay attention to this in the back of your mind. But everybody else, just go ahead and just close your eyes and start taking a couple nice deep breaths and just start slowing your breathing down. Just take a couple seconds with each inhale and a couple seconds with each exhale. And what we're doing is we're starting to tune into all the different sensations in our bodies because they're about to change. Right? So now that you're kind of feeling your body and how you're feeling, go ahead and think about how much money you make today. And if you want to think of that in terms of an annual salary or a monthly amount or a weekly amount or hourly amount, it doesn't really matter. Just pick one, whatever you're used to thinking of your money in terms of. And just think about the amount of money that you make. And then I want you to kind of feel, does it feel good or feel bad? And where do you feel it? Okay. And so for you, you might be so used to this amount of money, you don't really feel it. So I want you to think about making double the amount that you currently make right now. So just double that number in your head. And just think about tomorrow, I make twice what I make today. Okay. So go ahead and just feel in your body. For some of you, that's going to feel really good. For some of you, that's going to feel really bad. For some people, you'll be really excited. Oh, I can make twice as much. And other people, you might feel, oh my gosh, that could never happen. So just kind of notice where it feels in your body. And we're going to do it again. You're going to double that number again. Think about making 4 times what you make right now. I'm going to up the ante a little bit, and let's go 10 times. 10 times the amount that you make right now. How are you feeling? Most people are thinking, no way. It doesn't feel very good, does it? It feels completely implausible and impossible. Completely outside of your reality. And that's perfect. Whatever you're feeling right now, just notice where it is in your body. And we're just going to turn up the dial on that feeling. Just make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, very good. And I don't know if we have callers, Deb, or if you want to share how you're feeling right now. Maybe I can walk you through the feelings that are going through you right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what was interesting for me is actually when we went bigger, it got lighter.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that'll happen to a lot of people because now we're stretching into imagination because you're not thinking about reality anymore, which is wonderful. So let's think about the number where you felt the most resistance at.
Okay, that's like my current income.
Okay. So as you grew it bigger, it got lighter and lighter. So that's really interesting. So that tells us why you're at your current level of income, Deb, right? So you've probably been at a similar amount of income for a little while. You probably tried a couple of things to kind of increase it, but you've kind of been there, kind of almost feeling stuck. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that my income has grown by like 20% pretty much every year. But yeah, I mean, I'd still say I have like the income ceiling, a limiting thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. So now what we really want, it's going to get a little uncomfortable, but we love this uncomfortable feeling because
I love it.
because it tunes us into energy, and it tunes us into an energy that can leave. And once it leaves, you get to move right on to all those better feeling numbers. So just go ahead and just tune into that feeling. And where did you feel it in your body, Deb?
I feel it in my heart, in my chest.
In your heart, in your chest. So go ahead and just kind of breathe in and just bring your awareness down into your chest. All right? And just bathe yourself right in the middle of that uncomfortable feeling of that income ceiling that you're kind of experiencing right now. All right? And how does that feel to you to kind of be right in the middle of all of that?
As I breathe into it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it gets a little bit less constricted and more relaxed as I'm breathing into it.
Okay, good. So just keep breathing into it, and then now go even deeper. Wherever the very root, we're trying to find the very root of that discomfort, and just go right into it. Just go right in there and just feel absolutely everything that you can. Like I said, it's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, but it's just for a little bit.
And I mean, I would say what comes up for me as I do that, it's it's the little girl that lives in me that's like, kind of like, it's like it's survival conditioning where it's like, it's that little girl that lives in me that's like, how are we going to survive? Like, if we don't have money, how are we going to survive? How are we going to make it?
Perfect. And so it comes up with fear, a lot of fear-based feelings sitting inside your money center.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. And just go ahead and just breathe in all of that fear. Just get scared. Feed that little girl's fears. Let her get terrified. And just let her think whatever she's going to think. There's no money coming in. What are we going to do?
All right, so I'm just like, I'm just expanding that fear. I'm just diving into it.
Good. And when you get into that really uncomfortable place, you're just going to sit in there and you're going to feel it and you're going to experience it as much as you can.
Yeah, and so my body is starting to shake, I would say.
So now you're starting to get a physical release, and perfect. You're doing excellent, Deb. And what's going to happen here is if you keep sitting with this feeling, just keep breathing into it. Something very interesting is going to happen, right? So tell me what's happening right now. I'm feeling a lot of heat. Where are you
yeah, I definitely am warm. I would say that I'm as I'm diving deeper and deeper into it, I can feel like there's this point that's coming where it's going to pop, where the energy is going to pop and it's going to release. I'm just like allowing it just to kind of grow and grow and grow, just to really, really expand and just allow it to open.
Perfect. So let's give you this space to let you do that and let that energy rise up.
Yeah, and the energy is like, it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter.
Beautiful. Perfect. And I think everyone who went through that exercise and is following along, if you sit with it long enough, you will experience the exact same thing. So how are you feeling now?
Oh, I feel lighter. I mean, I don't know if you could feel sort of the shift a little bit, but like, yeah, I can feel, it's like, I'm like, when I do energy work, I always want to like laugh and giggle, and that's kind of where I am right now.
You can hear it in your voice, even like the different quality in your voice.
Yeah. No, that's really very cool exercise. I very much appreciate that. So we are going to take, actually before our final break, Kane, can you give the listeners your contact information one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Kane at inwardgaze.org. So that's KANE at INWARDGAZE.org.
Yeah. And for the listeners that want to get on, get Kane sends some really awesome, powerful emails on a daily basis. So for the listeners that want to get on your email, just head to inwardgaze.org, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, I'm going to share my tidbits of truth, and we'll finish with an abundance vibration activation. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If never I met you, I never have seen you cry. If not for a first hello, we never have to say goodbye.
What if we really didn't have to die to go to heaven? Are you curious about the afterlife or rebirth? The highly anticipated new book from author Dr. Susan Allison, You Don't Have to Die to Go to Heaven, is available now. Find out how to find guidance and healing in the spirit realms. Order the book today and put it on your must-read list for 2016. Visit drsusanallison.com to learn more.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics.
The 24th Annual WOW Conference, United We Change the World. Featured guests are Dr. Christine Page on Creative Dragon Energy. Dr. Susan Shumsky will show you how to awaken your third eye. And Mira Kelly will present a 2-day intensive workshop on Beyond Past Lives. This February 11th through the 15th. Go to thewowconference.org. That's the WOW conference.org.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Welcome back to Truth Talk Radio. I'm your host, Deb Acker. In today's Tidbits of Truth, I want to talk to you about an interesting awareness to help you kind of really step into this energy of abundance and really open to what money could feel like, right? So I want to propose that this is going to be kind of maybe an interesting idea. It might be a big idea. It might be, just notice whatever comes up as I kind of walk you through this, right? So, but for me, the way that I, have shifted into perceiving around money is that, money is paper, right? And paper comes from trees. And so there's this interesting awareness, interesting activation that you can start to do where you start to really experience money like you do nature, right? So you start to really walk into and start to experience money in the way that you experience nature, right? Because we are the ones, and Kane touched on this, right? But we are the ones who decided to give money its value, right? But say, for instance, that leaves were our equivalent to money, right? And we were going to use leaves to pay for everything, right? Then when we'd walk, we'd walk outside and it was fall and all the leaves would be on the ground, we would end up experiencing leaves that way, right? So you get to make a choice as to how you experience money and how you associate money and how you really internalize money. And you can make the choice to start to, and it's a gradual process, right? It's not something that may happen overnight, but you can make the choice to really start to experience money like nature, right? And just some questions to begin to ask yourself to really bring the awareness around how, what your money beliefs are, everything. You can ask the question, like, what are my beliefs around money? You can notice when you spend money, what comes up, and you can even look at the patterns, what were your parents' patterns around money, right? Did they, did they believe that, did they not want to spend money, right? Or were they extremely generous? Was there a prevalent attitude or prevalent conditioning in your household that you didn't have any money, right? And so just noticing anywhere in your world where there was some any sort of level of scarcity, whatever those beliefs were, were around money, and really, really just noticing what that looked like, right? And so in our final few minutes here, what I want to do, as always, is do a vibration activation, right? So for those of you who are new, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to connect you to the light, and I'm going to walk you through this step by step, but I'll connect you to the light, bringing the light through your entire body. And then we're going to go ahead and expand that light out 5 feet, 10 feet out to the entire universe. And then I might say something like, everywhere you associate money with fear, right? And you want to see that, so everywhere you associate money with fear, you want to see that coming out of your body, and then you want to breathe in a positive alternative, right? So you can see this fear around money coming out of your body, and then you might breathe in light, you might breathe in abundance, you might breathe in truth. So you can pick, I'll give you a positive alternative. If that doesn't resonate for you, you can choose any positive alternative that you want. And you just want to see this pattern, this idea, this belief coming out of your body. So with that, as Kane mentioned earlier, go ahead and close your eyes. And if you are driving or if you're operating heavy machinery, do not close your eyes. But for everybody else, go ahead and close your eyes. And just taking a nice deep breath. And just breathing in through your nose and just filling the belly and the sides of the body and the chest with air. And then just exhaling out. And just connecting to the light that's 300 feet above your head. And we naturally do this when we pray. And just see, sense, or feel that light. And begin to allow this liquid light to come down in through your forehead, down past your eyes so that you can see the truth of money, down past your ears and nose so you can hear the truth around money, down past your mouth and into your throat so you can really speak your truth around money, down across your shoulders, down into your heart so that you can really feel what your truth is around money, and down into your hips, down into your hips so that you can really stand in your truth around money, and just down into your legs and out through your feet so you can really move towards your desires, your truth around money. And just connecting into the center of the earth that feels like mother's love, and it's all ooey and gooey and warm and nurturing. And just allowing this liquid light to come back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your hips, up through your torso, and up through your face. And again, just this liquid light shower just coming down through your face, down across your shoulders, down your torso, down your hips, down your legs, and out through your feet, and back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and up through your face. And one more time, just allowing you to fill every crevice of your body, just coming down through your face, across your shoulders, down your back, down your hips, down your legs, and out through your feet. Good. And back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and up through your face. And just expanding that light from above and below, and expand that light from your heart into the room that you're in. So just see that light getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and just open, expanding, and breathing. Good. Open, expanding, and breathing. Open, expanding, and breathing. Good. And expanding out past the entire building that you're in, just getting super, super, super big, and just open, expanding, and breathing. Open, expanding, and breathing, and expanding out past the entire city that you're in. So whatever city you're in, just allowing that to expand. So just open, expanding, and breathing. Good. Open, expanding, and breathing, and expanding out past whatever state or whatever country you're in, just allowing that to get super, super, super big. Just see it filling the entire state or country that you are in. Getting super, super, super big. Just open, expand, and breathe. Good. And expanding out past the entire continent that you're on, whatever continent you're on, just allowing that to expand. Just open, expanding, and breathing. Open, expanding, and breathing. Good. And expanding out past the entire world. So just getting super, super, super big, and just open, expand, and breathe. Good. Open, expand, and breathe. And expanding out past the entire universe, past all the planets, just getting super, super, super big. Just open, expanding, and breathing. Good. Open, expanding, and breathing. Good. Open, expanding, and breathing. Good. And just everywhere you associate money with heaviness, everywhere you have fear around money, just exhaling out that fear, exhaling out that heaviness, and just breathing in light and just breathing in abundance. So just everywhere you have any sort of heaviness, any sort of fear around money, what are you going to do with money? How are you going to make money? Any sort of fear that comes up, just exhaling that out and just breathing in light, breathing in abundance, breathing in light, breathing in abundance, breathing in light, breathing in abundance. Good. And just everywhere you think it's not possible to make what you would like, if all the limits were to come off, you think that that's not possible, that you can't make as much money as you want. Just exhaling that out and just breathing in this abundance, breathing in the truth of who you are, breathing in infinite possibilities, breathing in the truth of who you are, and just breathing in infinite possibilities and breathing in abundance, breathing in the truth of who you are, breathing in infinite possibilities, and just breathing in abundance. And everywhere you have some sort of limit on how much you can make, and everywhere you feel even sort of some heaviness around that, just exhaling that out and just breathing in infinite possibilities and breathing in the truth of who you are, breathing in the truth of who you came here to be. Just breathing in the truth of who you are, breathing in the truth of who you came here to be, breathing in the truth of who you are, and breathing in the truth of who you came here to be. And just everywhere you're in your mind around money, right? Everywhere, when something comes up around money, you get in your mind around that, and just exhaling that out and just breathing in the feeling of abundance, right? Just breathing in this yummy, delicious feeling of abundance, breathing in this delicious, yummy feeling of abundance, breathing in that delicious, yummy feeling of abundance, just breathing in that delicious, yummy feeling of abundance. And just everywhere, you have you're scared about money, any sort of fear around money, just exhaling that out and just breathing in the truth of who you are, breathing in the truth of who you came in here to be, seeing yourself as that expansive, big individual. So you just want to see your light shining into the room that you're in and just across the entire world. So just see yourself getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more abundant, more abundant, more abundant, and more abundant, and just bigger and bigger and bigger and more abundant, more abundant, more abundant. And one more time, just bigger and bigger and bigger and more abundant and more abundant and more abundant. And just taking a nice deep breath, just coming back into the room. And with that, I want to thank my guest, Kane Shea, today for sharing such great information. And I want to thank you all for tuning into Truth Talk. Kane would love to hear from you. Any comments on the exercise, any comments on the show. So definitely make sure to email him at kane@inwardgaze.org. And I always love hearing from my audience as well. So if you have a comment on the show or would like to introduce yourself, you can definitely send me a note on the contact page of my website at deboraacker.com. And there you can also sign up for my complimentary 30-minute discovery session, as well as my free Living in Your Truth guide. And next week on Truth Talk, we're going to have Erin Diedling. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for listening to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio every Wednesday at 3 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com and experience the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Each week, Deb interviews an inspiring guest and illuminates the truth to a wide range of topics, including love, life, purpose, career, consciousness, and abundance. Welcome to the world of infinite possibilities. For more information about Deb, including how to contact or work with her, visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com. Look forward to seeing you next week for more Truth Talk Radio.